first thing we want to do is start with a clean, damp pad. It's actually not a dry pad.
Why damp?
Why damp?
Yeah.
Better lubrication.
Okay.
First of all, like the traditional polish, right? They'll take this pad, they'll put 4 or 5 drops of polish on it.
Yep.
Then they start polishing. There's only 4 or 5 areas that have lubrication. The rest of it, it's dry foam going across the paint. Not a good idea. Whether
it's like an abrasive kind of?
Yeah, whether it's a DA or a rotary. We want to slightly moisten the pad. Okay. We don't want it wet. And then I'm just gonna rotate this over the pad washer, lift it up about 1/4 inch, spin it out at speed 6 till no more moisture is coming out. And this is very different in the industry. It's a sprayable polish. So from there, 1 spray on the pad. And now we have a nice distribution over the pad. I have it on speed 1. It's the lowest speed the machine will go. You don't want to go any higher than speed 1. The next thing is the grip on the machine. A lot of people will do a death grip. You want the more relaxed grip you can do. You don't want to have pressure on the machine. You don't want to have pressure on yourself. Have good posture. You don't want to be down here. You don't need to smell the polish. It smells like bananas. I'll tell you right now. You don't need any more than that. It's keeping the pad on the paint. So I'm using 2 fingers. I'm going over body lines. Very, very easy to control. I don't even have to look at it. It's not, you'll feel the balance. And with the rotary, if you lift up the back end, it goes one way. If you put the back end down, it goes the other way. If you try to tilt it, it'll go one way. If you tilt it the other way, it goes the other way. So once you find that point of balance.
And when it comes to a rotary type.
So rotary, 2 important numbers. Below 800 RPM and above 2400 RPM. The below 800 RPM is your working speed. So up to 800 RPM, you're good. I prefer like a 400 to 600. And then your top speed, you want above 2400 RPM to spin the pad. If it were up to me, this would be a 2-speed switch. Work, clean. But you saw how easy it is to control. Yeah. Where people make mistakes is A, not using the trigger lock. When you're holding this trigger, it effectively locks your wrist and your elbow. So now your movements become jerky and harder to control. The other is putting weight. Third is trying to hold on to it. The less you hold on to it, the easier it is to move, the easier it is to maneuver. The less you're working, the more work it's going to do.
Now, typically with a DA at least, we do a crosshatch pattern.
Yeah.
I noticed when you were doing that side earlier, kind of testing,
yeah,
you really didn't have a pattern. For the most part.
It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
The crosshatch pattern is good for memory.
Okay.
So
muscle memory.
Yeah. So basically, you know you've gone left, right, up, down, left, right. I've done 3 passes. Right. I'm good. Don't polish wider than your shoulders. Again, just 2 fingers. I'll go over this. Come back up. I've polished that whole section.
But how are you hitting like right here?
The waffle is conforming to the surface.
Okay.
If you want to have a problem with the rotary, use a flat pad. As long as you keep it flat. So as an experiment, just lift up the back end a little bit.
Oh yeah, it starts pulling on it.
And then drop the back end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know if you're not flat.
Once you find that equilibrium, it becomes super easy to do.
Now, how fast do I want to move the polisher?
As fast or as slow as you want.
Okay.
But the slower you move, the faster you work.
Okay.
Because you're letting the machine do the work.
So like right there, I can feel that body line pushing against me a little bit.
Yeah.
Or either that or I'm not pulling it up.
You just, just let it follow the curves.
And this is the best way to get jeweling?
100%.
Okay. Just the ultimate gloss that you can get.
Yeah. So people freak out about the rotary. It's going to create heat, right?
Right.
So what temperature are we at?
86 degrees.
Okay. Hold it there for a minute. Just don't move it. Are you stressed out yet?
No. It's not shaking me to death either.
No.
It's nice and smooth.
Yeah. But some people at this point would be stressed about the heat on the paint.
Yeah.
What's it at now?
94.
So we went up 8 degrees.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I just could never get it smooth. I was constantly bouncing around on me.
And you probably did that with a flat pad.
It's a flat pad. Yeah.
Flat pad, I wake up around.
So this is key.
Yeah, I wake up around 3:15 every morning, so I can hate flat pads a little longer every day.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's just not the best tool. You know, a flat pad is inexpensive, but it has a lot of drawbacks.
What is the advantage of finishing with all the advantages of finishing with this versus doing a dual action? Is it faster to finish with this, or is it just better, like as far as your finished product?
So faster and better gloss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's smooth. Yeah, that's big.
It's a lot easier on you.
Yeah.
You know, as the user. But the other thing is, you know, people will say cutting with the DA isn't right. There's no right or wrong way to
As
detail.
long as you get to the end
Yeah.
result you want.
Right. The cutting with a DA, if we go, you know, pad for pad, machine for machine, same thing, the DA always cuts faster.
Yeah.
The rotary feels like you're cutting faster. And on some defects, if you've got the good old school wool pad, you're going at it, yes, you might cut a little faster with the rotary. But then you're going to have to do more steps to correct that than with the DA. If you're cutting with the DA, 2 passes with that, like left, right, up, down, you're done.
Okay.
You're wiping the polish off with a dry towel.
Always. I always do.
Yeah. Gonna switch it up on you.
Okay.
Start with a damp towel. And you don't need to put that much effort into it.
And damp with
Rinseless wash.
Right.
So the rinseless breaks down the polishing oils.
Okay.
And then you're not in a rush to dry it off. Let Mother Nature do a bit of the work.
Let Mother Nature do a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, nice and sweet.
A lot less effort, right?
Yeah.
And you have less risk of re-scratching the panel because you're not putting any pressure on the towel.
Man, that looks so good.
We don't use tape. Tape is a waste of time.
Right.
And you can actually get into trouble taping.
Okay.
So you can get glue lines. Yeah,
And I've had
exactly.
that happen to me before. It's like you fight to get that stuff off of there.
Yeah,
Clean pad.
yeah,
We got one spray on there as it's spinning to get it all dispersed properly.
right?
But we don't have to do the whole
No.
thing. Okay.
Start working.
Okay. Just start working.
Use the trigger lock. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the less you hold on to it, the easier it's going to get.
Like you were telling Brian earlier, like when you change the angle, you can feel it
Yeah.
walking you.
So this way, it's a lot easier on you.
Yeah.
There's no pressure whatsoever.
It's much smoother. Especially on this contour right here. And with that waffle weave, like you said, it's
Yeah.
catching all, when I go across this Jeep logo.
And the slower you move, the faster you work.
Now, is it better on curves like this to work like halfway on the curve, or is it better to work them up and down?
It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter?
Whatever works for you.
What RPMs is that machine spinning at right now?
600.
600 RPM.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's the intimidation factor is
Gone.
So I take
Like,
it
it's
to
like-
cringe when these guys turn the machine all the way up. They're polishing.
Yeah, it's a great way of ruining paint.
Yeah.
It's hard on the machine. It's hard on the pads.
Is that how they're getting holograms and stuff?
Yeah.
They're so bad.
The other important tool is this.
Oh, there you go. Oh, the knees.
Yeah.
To get there,
What that's for?
but once you're here, like the workability is. You're right. It makes you stand straight up.
Yeah, it
Like your
forces
back.
your back to be in
Yeah.
proper posture. You can't slouch even if you wanted to.
I've already got a slouch actually.
So don't go past your shoulders.
Okay.
So no wider than you
Okay,
are.
like right here.
Yeah.
And then to wipe this off, we use a
Rinseless damp and
rinse
towel.
stamp and towel.
I'll take the machine from you there, sir. You're not trying to get everything off. You're just
Yeah,
trying
we're
to
just-
get the rinseless to emulsify what's there. And
Then buff off.
yeah.
You really don't even have to do a ton of like buffing, really, either.
No. You've paid for these machines. Let them do the work for you.
Well, I've never thought about wiping off my polish with a damp towel.
Yeah.
I've always used a dry towel to wipe my polish off.
With water, it's not going to work. You need to use the rinseless. What the rinseless actually emulsifies the polishing oils, breaking them down, making them so that it's,
It's
just wipe away.
lubrication.
Adds added lubrication.
Right.
took some intimidation away. I mean, it's not necessarily an intimidation, it's just something that you never tried before and you hear all the myths.
Yeah.
But just like when I tried the DA before, it was the confidence and, you know, somebody not wanting to gatekeep, you know, the different steps that it takes to do it properly and efficiently.
Yeah.
And now people are less gatekeeping, and people like me in my garage can polish their own car.
Right. Polishing is something that anyone can do. It's super easy, it's fun, it's effective. It shouldn't be a stressful part of the detail. It should be a relaxing part. Yeah.
When you're done.
And this isn't something you necessarily do. You don't have to cut every time before you do a ceramic coating
No.
or anything. This polish step is easier, it's quicker.
Yeah.
And it gives you a nice enough surface to do a ceramic coating, a nice clean surface.
Yeah.
But if you do want to go crazy, as this is your follow-up step to
Yeah.
a true cut with a DA.
Preservation over perfection.
Absolutely, because clear coat's getting thinner and thinner.
Yeah. Argument with an idiot, he's going to bring you down to his level. The scratch is bringing the clear coat down to its level.
The enthusiast in the garage, just like with the gold standard and the pad process,
Yeah.
it just made things just, like I said, less intimidating, more confident for me.
Yeah.
And they're just so easy to use. All the things that I was worried about the trim and contaminating and having to tape everything off like the
Yeah.
very first time I did. Now it's like, I just knock it out in half that time.
Yeah. With that, if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas, leave them below, and we'll see you in the next one.